Okay, someone confirm if it's up.
I have it. Okay, it looks like it's going.
Awesome. Okay, we're back after our hiatus. Yeah.
Yep.
And to compensate, we're covering twice the amount of each manga. Wow.
2,000 times the amount.
Yeah, which wasn't difficult at all to remember. And
yes.
Yeah, you're crazy. Yeah, well, shit. Should we just jump right into...
Yeah, Soul Eater.
All of the arachnophobia assault on Baba Yaga Castle shit. Woohoo!
Yeah, it was very cool. They went in, they fought, they found Baba Yaga, the Thane.
Baba Yaga.
Everyone died.
Everyone died.
Everyone died despite already being dead. Mifune appeared to die, which I was really not expecting that.
He did just die. Yeah.
He just did that without telling anyone. Yeah, I think that is probably my favorite fight in the series, just based on what I remember. I don't remember much of what's still to come, but like based on my past memories, that was my favorite fight back then.
From here on out, I don't remember Soul Eater as well either. Like, in my mind, this is like my favorite arc. Like, I think it's still good all the way to the end, but this is like this is like
probably the best one.
Yeah, this is like peak. Just everything is great in this arc. Has the best fights. It looks really cool.
He goes crazy with the art style.
Yeah, the art style shifts so many different times, and they're all awesome. But yeah, we start with little Lolly Deuce over here, making a deal with the Deathmeister Weapon Academy. Yeah, which is cool.
It's the silly Trixie Medusa.
She is. I like that she gets bonked and they pick her up and show her bloomers, and Maka's dad is all over that. But then they're also
and then they repeat the joke.
Yeah, they repeat the joke, and then she's like, "I'll kill you." Yeah.
Typically because it reminds him of fond memories of when Maka wore those underwear.
When Maka had little pumpkin pants. Yeah.
Which is not creepy at all for him to say, but
it's not. It's funny. I love all the funny stuff he does with Tiny Medusa. I like when she sits on her little snake hoodie things. I like how Shinigami is equal parts like, haha, so silly, but also he's like, you're a filthy witch, and I would exterminate your kind with if I could.
Yeah, which him saying that all the time really came back to bite him a little bit with Kim.
Just a little bit.
I like the dynamic Kim has with Ox. Like, Ox is a surprisingly good character for.
Yeah,
it is the worst hairstyle ever.
He does later grow out his hair, and he looks much better. Although it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny that he loses like his whole. It's funny that he shaves his hair just to have this stupid pillars hairstyle. Yeah, but he goes from like being like a meme character who's like the class nerd for the test episode, to becoming like a really cool character. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I was shocked by how developed he was, where he actually is one of the better characters now, I would say.
Yeah, he's up there.
You know, he rips out his stupid antennas, Kim.
She heals them back onto his head. Somehow. Yeah, that's weird. They act like they're a body part that got like removed from his body and then had to be healed again. Yeah, there he is. Chad Ox. He pulls so hard he's bleeding.
I mean, if you rip the hair out of your head, it's not good for you.
It's like he scalped himself. It was very weird. I really like all the new gang that started appearing like last time we covered stuff like Killick and Kim and Ox. Even Harvar has some cool. Harvar D, is his name. Harvard D something else, like some French name. Yeah.
I feel like Harvard mostly exists to show up and progress things when someone else is being a pussy.
What I thought was funny about Harvard was how much of a hard ass he is. Like they say he isn't as affected by the madness wavelength because he's like so like stubborn. And then when Pot of Fire and Thunder are playing around with the old demon, he just shows up and stabs it in the head. He's like, he stabs Kim right through the fucking heart, and he didn't know she had any healing, so he just was okay with murdering her. It was like he's just like a hard ass guy. Yeah.
That must be like his kind of madness, basically. Like his
I guess
kind
so.
of
Yeah. It must be his little tism. Yeah.
I was gonna say this is one of those arcs where everyone gets their little moment to be the MVP.
Yeah, they had good highlights.
Then I thought about Death the Kid. I mean, he accomplished some stuff, but he doesn't fare so well by the end.
But he has the fucking awesome scene where his fucking line of Senzu connects, and he fucking reattaches his own arm with fucking Shinigami powers. It's like the coolest shit
that looked
ever.
really nice.
It did. They do like the special. He does like the special color page where his like there's blood splatter all over the floor, and he's like, fucking. I love mosquitoes like. I was thinking that I love mosquitoes like 400 years ago design because like the whole thing with Soul Eater has always been like that it takes like, you know, Halloween-y tropes and turns them into characters. Like we have zombies and mummies and Wolfman, and it was like he must have held so hard in not showing a vampire so far. Like that's like the fucking most appetizing visually like horror trope, and he waited like 60 fucking chapters to finally break out the Count Dracula, and it was worth it. And it's so clever how it's like telegraphed because he's a mosquito, and it's like, oh, he's a blood-sucking guy.
Yeah, like he went from like vampire to mosquito, or mosquito to vampire.
He's just a blood-sucking kind of creature. Yeah.
It's kind of like Cell from.
Yeah, he does kind of like Cell.
Or it's kind of like how Toriyama used to do that, where a character would be more and more monstrous, and suddenly they'd be a pretty human again.
Yeah, like Frieza. Frieza is like that. Like Frieza turns into like those weird forms where he has like a weird crocodile head and stuff, and then in his final form, he's just like a weird lizard man. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and his power is cool as well.
Yeah, all the powers are. Oh man, I was thinking about that. Like I said this before, but like I love how every fight it's usually like a different combination. He always comes up and they're always super fun to see. Like even that fight, it's not just Death the Kid versus Mosquito at first. Like Death the Kid teams up with Free. We have Medusa being like the best fucking support fight character ever, where she's just fucking moving people around with vector plates and buffing their attacks and fucking.
It was very League of Legends.
Yeah, that was so cool. Like I love seeing like different combos of characters like have to run around and fight. It's really fun.
Yeah, and you almost think Medusa's going to be a good guy for a little bit. I mean, if you're stupid, you know.
I mean, she's not 100%. The thing that is like insidious is that she's not 100% lying about like the Cronus stuff. It's just like her version of like maternal affection is incredibly like twisted and weird, and predicate on a bunch of stuff that we'll see more of. But yeah, it's still obviously it's messed up, and witches are all evil. I exterminate them all. They should kill Angela while they can right now before she becomes another evil monster. Yeah, murder all the witches
except Angela and
Kim. Yeah, all the other ones are bad and should die.
The whole Angela situation weirds me out because early on. It was basically a joke. It was a gag where it's like, oh, we have to kill a witch. Oh, it's a little girl. Maybe later we'll kill her. I don't know.
And the gag
she
with
has a samurai
Mifune,
guardian.
Mifune like loves kids and he gives them candy, and so he hits people with the blunt side of his sword. He's like a gentle samurai.
It was just a weird kick in the nuts to have Mifune actually die, because. It just felt very unnecessary. Like, out of all the characters on the other team,
you take issue with that. Actually, I thought you would think that was cool. I was always like, oh, that makes sense. He's kind of outlived his story purpose, really. Like, having three... He is, like, Black Star's character growth arc, so having him kill him is like the perfect capper to that, I think.
Well, to me, it's almost like if they literally killed Blair and ate her soul at this point.
Well, they could have done
like,
that.
like she was he was from the early, gag, silly hijinks portion of the manga. Bringing him back to like suddenly now it's for real and we kill him. It's just
I think
it's poignant. Yeah, he showed up in the ice when they were in Tempest. And he was fighting Sid.
Even before that, during the
it would be hard to like redeem him because he has killed like hundreds of people, just not children. Like he did work for the bad guys and murder like many of the team that went to get Brew on the island. Like he wasn't exactly gonna get like, oh, why don't you just join the DWMA, dude? They couldn't really just let him go because his job is to be a bodyguard. Yeah.
It just makes me sad. Like I understand why it happened.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to make you sad because he's a cool character, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad story.
Also, I feel like he's someone where if he had gotten
he's a nice man.
If he had all the information getting into it, I feel like things would have went different. You know?
Even that bit at the end where he like after Black Star stabs him in the coolest 2-page spread, except maybe for the Maka. Devil hunter thing, but okay, with the one where he stabs Mifune through the fucking heart, he topples over first, and Mifune like grabs him with his arm and like lays him down gently before staggering off to die. It's like even at the end, Mifune is like, "You're still a kid. I still have some affection." Yeah.
Yeah.
What a good fucking fight, though. God damn it.
Yep.
The choreography is fucking incredible, that fight. Like, he still has moves to do with the sword thing. How does he keep doing it? He, like, lines them all up and then smacks them into him, and he throws one, and fucking Black Star stops it with his foot. It's so fucking awesome, and then, like, kicks the sword toward him and shit.
Also, Black Star being Naruto... They really kind of laid into that.
Black Star's cooler than Naruto
his
ever fucking wishes he could be.
His evil brother died, and we brought him to the school and raised him here.
Not his brother,
instead
his
of
dad.
his dad. But instead of neglecting him for his entire childhood, we just we're nice to him.
Treasured him. Yeah. I also
almost implied that the zombie Sid Sensei was kind of his dad a little bit. What the fuck?
Looking back on it, Sid is always kind of the one who's with him and is always rooting for him. Like normally when Black Star shows up, Sid's the one who's like, "You can do it, Black Star," or he's like, "Don't get too carried away, Black Star." So that kind of makes sense that they have more of a connection like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love. Yeah. I still like that. I always go back to that fight over the years, just when I want to get ideas for fight scenes and stuff, because that, especially that, everything to do with the brush pen is so fucking cool with the scarf and shit, and these are shadow clones. But then that final section where there's no words and they're just standing their ground and slicing into each other over and over and over again. Yeah, that fucking awesome page where Mifune slices through his eye and shoulder, and then he gets in the counter. It's visceral. I was vibrating with motion as I read that. But
speaking of which, the painterly style for Arachne's spider form during some of the fights. Yeah. That was cool.
That's
that
so
was
awesome.
Fun.
He uses he's using the pillars of the room to make her shadow have eight legs and shit. He's such a fucking genius. It's amazing.
Yeah, and spiders are so scary too.
And it's so
actually
funny.
On the way here.
Oh yeah, go on. Tell me your spiders.
On the way here, I had to do the little scanner badge thing to get in, and there was a jumping spider on it.
Ah!
I almost had to cancel the podcast.
I like how much mileage he gets out of the fact that spiders have 8 legs and Death the Kid's favorite number is an 8. Even early on, they joke. Yeah, they joke that Death the Kid got a bad running time because he was aiming for 8 seconds flat. Yeah. and then later he goes to the 8th leg to stop the seal, and then him in Mosquito's ultimate form before he dies is 800 years ago specifically. He's like, oh yeah, and Free is an idiot. Yeah.
And he got a circle on his head finally.
He did. The Sanzu line closed did, and it fucked Shinigami up. He was like, arg. Yeah.
Very sad. Speaking of Shin Megami, I'm glad that they resolve the Stein arc, somewhat gracefully. Where Shinigami, because earlier I was wondering, like, does Shinigami not know? Doesn't he obviously know? And Shinigami he totally understood the whole time. He just makes all the teachers stand in front of him saying, okay, you broke the laws by acting on your own, so say I'm sorry. And they all go, I'm sorry. And he's like, awesome, moving on.
Because Shinigami is the third in the trifecta of Socratic irony, where you pretend to be stupider than you are. It's Socrates, Columbo, and Shinigami. They all throw people off by acting dumber than and be like, oh really? I hadn't thought of that, but secretly they're the smartest one of all. Yeah.
Damn.
Fun.
Yes. Mosquito did totally get me when he went, okay, 200 years ago, and he says, is that my nasal peak, I think is what he says
my strongest nose. Yeah, there it is, my nasal peak. Yeah, my copy of the book just says when my nose was the strongest or something. Yeah.
And then he says 400. You think, oh, he's going to be some real crazy monster now. It's like, oh, he's just a handsome man.
Yeah, Liz and Patty have a line where they're just like, he looks kind of weak, and then he just fucking teleports into bats and slices. Yeah, just murder. Yeah, that wasn't even 1 second. Yeah. So
Liz and Patty having to try to cope with not having Death the Kid for a bit was
that's messed up. Yeah, what do you?
Then later they have a fight with Black Star and kicks him in the balls.
Well, Abon, not really. Noah kind of shows up out of nowhere, like he's just in the castle, and then like he's been an officer. I completely forgot he was even like associated with arachnophobia. Like I forgot
that he even existed as a character.
I remembered him being around, and I remembered that he kidnapped Death the Kid, but I just thought he like infiltrated the castle during the kerfuffle. But no, he was just like in there being like an officer dude, and then he was just like lol. The Book of Abon. Yeah.
The best moment though.
Yes.
Is probably Soul playing the piano.
Of course, as always.
As always.
As always. Well, it has the coolest. It has the coolest 2-page spread of all time. Like my computer wallpaper for years. Yeah, the second best is this. Yeah, the Black Star slicing into Mifune, but number one is fucking Maka with the scythe, and her fucking ink brush dress is the coolest looking thing ever, probably. It's so awesome.
It did make me think of Delicious in Dungeon, where it's like, oh, when Marcille powers up with a black dress, it's cringe and silly, but when Maka does it, it's badass and cool.
Yeah. It's funny also how, like, she had a different but kind of similar black dress when she appears within Soul's, like, piano room. And then the black blood turns into this dress. It's like this is just like Soul's Soul's fetish for like dress that he would like Maka to wear. It's funny.
Yeah, it seems to be connected to like the whole black blood madness thingy.
Yeah, that slicing Arachne is also so fucking cool.
Yeah. We also got to see Soul's brother.
Oh yeah, Wes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wes Anderson.
Wes Evans. Yeah, Wes Anderson. Yeah, Wes Evans shows up. I think I had alluded to his brother earlier. Yeah.
Tsubaki is the only one with good family.
Yeah, even then her brother did kind of go crazy.
Oh right. Never mind.
Her brother did become like a serial killer, but yeah.
I mean, I guess you probably, if you have a good home life, they probably don't let you move to Death City in Nevada.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, the infamous.
Yeah, the infamous. We prove for everyone who thinks Krona might be a boy, I raise you. I think they have. That's a lot of estrogen to give you that body shape. Yeah.
Michi's not gay. Exhibit
I am not gay.
1.
Exhibit 1. Exhibit 2. Nefelpito has booba.
Yeah, they're really stacking up.
Yeah. Also, I love Stein and Mari, like they do like dance moves, like they do like a JoJo dance pose, and she spins around and is like, "Justin, we've come for you, sucker." Oh yeah, Green.
Yeah,
Did you
Justin's the
suspect
bad
Justin?
guy.
Yeah, I knew.
No, I didn't.
The whole
But it's like,
time,
oh, of
yeah.
course, the one Christian character is the bad guy. I
That's
see
a
where
funny
you're going,
detail. They don't even call
Leader.
attention to when they show it from the side. His headphones now have like Kishin eyes on them, which is
Yeah, I
cute.
think also
Instead
I
of
also
being
think his,
Shinigami
like,
shaped. Yeah.
the cross he used to wear also seems to have changed into something
Yeah,
else.
I think so.
Like
And I noticed that on Death the Kid's guns too. When his guns upgrade from .38 to .42, they have
really
they have
funny.
a Kishin eye on each of the guns, like very subtly.
Oh,
Yeah, like
I
it's
didn't
like his madness is. Yes, if I can find it.
Yeah, this stretch, this arc, they kind of wanted
just
you
good.
to
Yeah.
keep guessing about who the strongest of the three was.
Oh, between
Like
yeah.
everyone kind of gets power up moments in quick succession, and then Death kind of stumbles at one point. So it's like it's like up and down. Like, oh, who's the coolest? It's this guy. No, it's this guy. No, it's this guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to find an image of the guns.
okay there?
I wanted to find an image of the guns to see the cool eyes, but I don't know what I should search. Yeah. So leader.
Death
the
Eagle
kid.
42.
Yeah, Eagle 42 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe Justin
There we
killed
go.
like
You see that? You
DJ
see
or
the
whatever his
you see
name
the
was,
Kishin
though.
eyes on the
That's
guns
cool.
there. Yeah. He's got a little bit
guns just do
of
that.
a madness seeping in there.
Oh yeah, okay, now I can see
Yeah,
it with the eye. Okay.
there could be easy
didn't
to
know
miss. Yeah, that was very awesome. Yeah, I'm glad all three of our guys got really cool moments, and all three of the lesser gang, Kim, Ox, and Killick all got awesome moments, but not as awesome, of course.
And the Giriko?
Oh yeah, Giriko was out of commission because they spiked this drink. Yeah, and it was so funny too when Maka fell over and he was like, in 10 years, you'll be quite a piece of ass. Yeah, now I'm gonna hang out with these maids. See ya. Yeah.
Who also are not like older than Maka, I guess, or not much.
Oh yeah, didn't they look at each other and say, "Why'd he change the number?"
Well,
yeah.
Maka said that as she was
10?
leaving. Yeah, and yeah, there was a lot of funny moments in their infiltration. Like I like when Medusa shows up again and they all hug her. They're like, "Yay, she's back! We were so confused." And I like Killick keeps getting put in with the like science experiment arachnophobia people because he has like a lumpy head. Yeah, because it's got the pots in there. Yeah. Yep. And he does the thing where he breathes fire, and then Ox is playing against Mosquito, and he has to pretend to be bad at chess because Mosquito sucks, like a Napoleon situation. It was so funny.
I like the little party magical soldier.
Soul Eater might be the most like charming manga ever because it's like.
Yeah,
it's just funny and badass and cool effortlessly all the time, and it's just so easy to like binge through it. Like I'm just like yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like weird that it's not talked about more.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Like it's better than
just
any of the big three.
Like,
IMO. Yeah.
Big three, yeah. It's basically the same thing, just shorter.
Yeah, exactly. It's
this is
shorter,
definitely more.
better.
This has got to be more consistently good than any of the big
like
three,
I take this over, like if you compress it, like percentage wise, how much of One Piece is good versus this. I mean, I also just like how this looks more, and I think it's cooler. But I don't think the big three stand up against Soul Eater, and I wish more shonen were around this length. Frankly, like it's not short by any means, but it has a satisfying ending and it's consumable. And it's not daunting for someone to get into. You have to tell someone, "Oh, get into One Piece now." It's like, okay, I'll just read 1,000 chapters. Get into Soul Eater. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Yeah. Read it a couple of weeks.
I'm still consistently impressed by the author's ability to not get in over his head.
Yeah.
He doesn't introduce elements he can't keep track of or control. He doesn't make things too complicated. He knows how to just weave the plot in, use it to, put characters in interesting situations, and then just like let it play out. It doesn't have to be that complicated.
The power levels have been like kept really well in check, where it's not about like everyone, it's kind of like Hunter x Hunter-ish in that people have powers, but they're kind of around the same skill level. Like when there are differences in power, it's usually like more of a slight thing, and depending on who you've got the help of, you can like overcome that or not. Yeah, like everyone, like Arachnophobia has strong agents, but like, your typical student at the DWMA is also pretty fucking strong, and if they get good support and coordination. I like that they're bringing Death Scythes in. They had cool little bits for Asuna to do. Yeah, they brought in Monkey and Texaquatl or whatever the fuck.
And the other one is the weapon.
Yeah, he's like the only guy who can wield him effectively is this pet monkey because they have the best resonance. I like that little cute moment where Maka realized it was a monkey through her resonance, and then she shared the resonance with Kid, and they're like, he really is a monkey. I was like, what do you guys think about? Also, I like how Medusa's... He just keeps coming up with cool new powers for her. I like when she gave everyone brain arrows and they could see the waypoints in the castle. Like, that was so cool. And then Medusa looks fucking awesome in her fucking Arachne design. Is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Arachne is still inside of her, apparently.
Yeah, partially it seems. Yeah, she has like the spider.
Like Kabuto and Orochimaru situation.
That effect is so cool, like with the spider web like cracking out of her eye almost. I mean, all the effects are always really fucking awesome. Like all the like way he uses like the trademark symbols and like visual language of each character in that way. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we always end up being like just gushing over how cool the fights are. Characters are awesome. And it's exciting.
It bugs me a little that they. I guess I keep getting hung up on the Mifune thing. It bugs me a little that Angela. They just keep her as a pet, and it's like, we'll just not tell her what happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mercy. I assume they will at some point. I don't remember, but. I assume at some point they will probably, or she will realize that,
And we haven't talked about the puppet section yet.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites, like art style shifts.
Strange.
Yeah,
I like when he goes crazy like that. I like how he covered 2 whole pages with scribbles of tiny spiders. Like that must have taken a while.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, everyone going crazy was fun. Yeah, I remember that vividly, like the puppet thing, or like when Medusa gets like mind broken by all this sort of stuff. I love. He just has like so many fucking tools at his disposal. Like he's never like satisfied to just fall back on something. He's like, well, it's kind of a new situation. I want to instill like a new art style, and it does give it like it is like scary. Like that whole section with Arachne does feel scary. Like that they're just like going into this fucking dark like and abyss.
Really unsettling.
Yeah. It's like creepy, unsettling, terrifying stuff, and like the symbolism is really cool of him like being like a wooden fucking doll, and then the strings come down from Arachne, and then Maka fucking chops them, and it's cool that they set up BJ to like just give in the idea of like having like soul. Having that kind of like soul wavelength thing being like a really dangerous thing for witches and the Kishin and stuff, and then they kill him, but then they're like, oh, Maka is kind of like the successor of that, and now Justin and others are kind of like, and Medusa are like trying to kill her because she's fucking too dangerous, because she can dispel madness and witch wavelengths. It's good.
Also, Wolf Guy is just around.
Yeah, that's funny that he goes to the wrong tower, and then he pulls the projection thing again when he's like running in place, so that was really clever. Like he went and did the thing. Yes. Yeah, Free's always fun. I like Free.
Also really lucky that he's immortal, otherwise he would have just been killed by Mosquito. And then...
Yeah, that was a good way of showing Mosquito's strength and not having to murder someone. It's like having rip Free apart because Free is immortal.
Yeah, also Mosquito's just dead, it seems.
Yeah, that always bummed me because I like it. I don't think he got enough mileage out of the bat thing, because there's lots of really cool pages and drawings with like him splitting into bats and stuff, but then he just gets killed unceremoniously by Noah. Yeah. I thought that was weird, but that's fine. Yeah, I'm more upset about Mosquito dying than Mifune dying, I guess. Just because I like Mosquito's design a lot.
Fair enough. I mean, I respect him for killing a character right as they do their cool thing.
Yeah, it was a good subversion also of him being like, I'm gonna do an even older form of myself. Gets murdered.
Okay, Justin better be a good bad guy because we're really burning through him.
He's fucking
I like
great.
him.
Yeah, like that's some of my favorite stuff later is Justin stuff. The moon fights. Fucking Kino. Yes. Well, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know if I have much more to say. There was a little more funny moments I could mention and stuff, but
like one thing, like earlier when we talked about Ox, like it's a little weird that he lets himself get beat up by these bullies that he could like very easily
that was
destroy
weird.
himself.
Yeah, that was. I guess that was like a manly sort of like Black Star getting beat up, but the situation was different.
Also, I always have to like laugh when I think about the words "morals manipulation machine." That's like
it's like walking around talking about that, being like, yes, and then even Kim acknowledges it herself. Like, yeah.
It's like the destruction of Japan device from Samurai Flamenco.
Oh, also, how good was Kim kissing? Okay, this is gay porn.
What?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, is Michi gay? Exhibit 3.
Yeah, because I didn't put Soul Eater. Yeah, I like the kiss on the nose, and then they're all blushy. That was nice. I mean, I would like Ox and Kim to be a couple because he's a good man, and
he's earned it. God damn it!
He's earned it. Look at this poor man. Yeah.
No, what they should do a funny joke where they're out on a date together and they're gonna play music and someone's like, "Pass me the ox," and everyone looks at him and laughs. Yeah, that would be great. You should make a comic of that.
I should.
Yeah, he's a great man.
Silly Ox.
Well, are we gonna move on to Tokyo Ghoul?
Tokyo fucking Ghoul.
Yeah, just another perfect set of chapters. Good for the author. I hope he's happy. Tokyo Ghoul continues to be significantly better than the beginning.
Very good. Again.
Yeah, the early section of this arc, like some people consider it its own arc, is like probably the wordiest.
Yeah, it was very verbose. I mean,
you say that, but I've said this many times, but the biggest problem with Tokyo Ghoul is it just has way too much exposition and plot for the amount of stuff that happens.
I think I'd agree with that.
And that was very present here, but at least there were like new characters that are fun and stuff mixed in. There were significant stretches of like the last few arcs where I was just like, oh god, I get it. There's the Ricky Kanagata, and I went to
the
Rikaku, and there's Type B, C, Q. I get it. I just please get back to people doing stuff.
There's Type B diabetes.
Diabetes. The ghouls have diabetes.
The ghouls have got diabetes, and they're what are they called?
If you eat a diabetic ghoul, you get double diabetes.
KG cells or CG cells or something.
RC cells.
RC cars. They drive them around.
The RC cars
RC
in their blood.
Cola. It's just shittier Pepsi, which it's amazing that exists.
Suzuya, right?
Yeah. Z is a little weirdo.
Yeah, I love this guy more and more. I was happy to see him get a cool scythe. Was cool.
Another scythe wielder now.
Yes, Jason of 13.
Who's cuter, him or Maka though?
He's cuter. Wait, I don't know. Yeah,
Exhibit 4.
No. Like my. In my brain, they're also a girl, but I'm not gonna get into this. This one's harder to. I can't justify one with proof. I just know it to be true in my heart of hearts. I was happy to see. I like that I'm getting like more and more invested in the doves. Like early on, they were like kind of less likable, and also a lot of them just look like guy in suit. But now that I'm getting more used to guy in suit, I'm like, I like these guys. I like the guy whose motorcycle got wrecked. I like the silly junior. I like the big brute guy who wears the berserker armor more and more. And I like Suyu
Although he looks like...
and I like the new girl, of course. Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah. Although Big Guy kind of looks like a cross between Gantz and Terraform Mars, which I feel like someone mentioned.
I like his dopey face. It just stands around. And I like Mado. I like Mado-chan and her silly quirks. I enjoy Amon trying to like be friends with her and take her out for meals, and she's just too autistic for him. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was weird finding out Amon was like adoptive son of a fucking Russian child murdering ghoul. That felt very that guy felt very like Chainsaw Man. Obviously it's the other way around, but that guy felt like very Chainsaw Man, like the puppet master.
Like the Santa Claus guy.
Thank you. Yeah, Santa Claus guy
He's
to me.
Very, very obviously inspired by Hannibal Lecter, but I just recently found out
Father
that,
Donald Trump was his name.
Apparently he was made up by a friend of Ishida, and Ishida put him in. Like he made like one of the the other girl investigator, not Mado. You probably don't even remember her. She was like in the last arc, was also made up by the same guy apparently.
I don't remember another girl.
It's like we're getting to the point where every the Chainsaw Man connection is fair. We're getting to the point where every ghoul hunter has some bizarre traumatic backstory and they're slightly crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy.
They should have leaned into that earlier.
I guess we had that from the start with Mado a bit, though. I may be crazy, but did Mado's daughter make the Mado face at a certain point?
Like it looks a little bit like it, but later on it becomes more apparent that they share like this facial.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Who's Mado again?
Mado was the guy who died early on. The Helsing
the
looking
crazy sci-fi guy, right?
Look at this. Like when she goes to see him at the grave in like the extra chapter, she has like an open and a closed eye, kind of like her dad used to make, like that funny face.
Right.
Yeah, and I thought that was cute.
I still struggle with the names a little bit. There's a lot of their names are mostly just Japanese.
Yeah, exactly. When it's like just like a bunch of like normal Japanese names, it's quite tricky to take. One I think her name is Toka. I like the girl who works at the restaurant at
you mean the cafe. New one, Roma?
Was it? Yeah, okay. I thought it was Roka.
Toka is main girl.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. No, I meant the new one. Yeah, I like how she's like a fangirl of Kaneki's. Yeah, and she's like bad at her job. And then the demon ape, the demon ape is like he used to. I was his teacher, and then he's like they taught him how to make coffee. Yeah. It's like really, yeah. She puts human sugar in the ghoul coffee. That was a great scene too when the doves went to and take you or whatever the fuck. And they're just like menacingly sitting at the table and being like, "Yeah, what's up?"
And Suzuya picking up on like Toka having vomited. That,
it's like, oh yeah, you vomited that time, right?
Is that?
Yeah, I mean, Suzy is like scary often.
It's a little. It's a little contrived that they're progressing this quickly, but on the other hand, thank fucking God they're progressing this quickly. We really need to get things going.
Yeah, we're almost done with this manga. Like, if we do the next two sections together, then we're done.
That's surprising. So is Re a sequel?
It's a direct sequel,
it's
but
a direct sequel.
Yeah,
because I keep thinking like this feels like it could go much longer, like all the stuff they're setting up, kind of. I'm surprised it's going to end in like less than 50 chapters. Yeah.
Yeah, like Re is way more spread out and bigger than Tokyo Ghoul.
Okay.
Tokyo Ghoul is more.
I mean, it's kind of that's kind of bullshit. It's like, oh, it's finally getting good and it's over.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's weird that the friend guy is like part of the team now, but he has like a different haircut.
That took me a second.
Because like 6 months has passed, so everyone has like longer hair.
Early on they weren't showing his face very well because he had a cap on, and all you could see was like white hair poking out of a cap. So I thought at first I was like, Kaneki infiltrated the doves because he's immune to the sensor. Like he doesn't set off the alarm. He could be doing part-time stuff to get like information. But then it was his friend.
I thought it was a spy. Then after a while I was like, I guess I guess it's just an Agretzko situation, and we're just watching office hijinks.
Yeah, this is weird. Like, it's not completely crazy, but it's like a weird escalation of like earlier on they hinted that like his friend is like weirdly perceptive and like kind of clever, but now he's become like a fucking Sherlock Holmes investigative genius just so he can like find his friend. It's like, okay, it turns out this guy is like a fucking super genius somehow, despite just being like a literature student at college. Yeah.
Speaking of which, they've just Go, Jaws, go.
Yeah?
No, you first.
Well, they've just completely sidelined Toka. Like, the main girl, she's just gone at this point. Like,
I mean, she had a good scene.
She tries to join the story again, and he fucks off and leaves her.
That was good when she had the cute scene with Hina. She had the cute scene with Hanami, and then Kaneki left her a bunny thing and was like, lol. I mean, obviously it's her brother who is like the dark bunny, I assume. Yeah,
that's like the thing. Like he concludes that they're not the same people, and Kaneki also says basically, okay, Toka is not killing the investigators.
Yeah.
So.
Funny is it that Kaneki is now taking the little girl like Hinami. He is now taking her on missions, but not letting Toka come.
That was one of my favorite things, though, was like their like big bro relationship, and he's like cutting her hair. I was like, yay! I really don't want anything bad to happen to her, but I'm worried.
Oh no. Do you think he can eat Ghoul's hair? Like, does that maybe a little bit?
Maybe. I mean, it is. I guess it's dead matter, though, so it'd be
maybe
kind of a dead
you
part of
regrow
the
your
ghoul.
fingernails.
I mean, he would need it because he has black fingernails now. It's funny how he's just like taken the centipede thing. Like, he's really like incorporated it in himself. He has like a centipede on his eye patch. He threatens the lady with a centipede in her ear, and then his cognate turns into a fucking centipede.
Yeah,
it looks awesome. I mean, it's very cool.
It's like one of the most iconic like pages.
I'm interested in the symbolism because I know some stuff about centipede symbolism
in Japanese folklore. Like, we see it in Muramasa as well, right?
Yeah,
in Japanese folklore, centipedes are considered as extremely evil.
Yeah, they're like they're like decay and rot harbingers. I was thinking
and they're super aggressive, aren't they?
Yeah, they're super aggressive and scary and poisonous. The two of these manga reminded me of Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Yeah. Because in Sekiro there's loads of centipede symbolism, and everything to do with like corrupted immortality is to do with these creepy centipedes that live in people. But also they keep mentioning with Black Star, I didn't mention that the other thing, there's like the worry of like becoming powerful, going down the path of the demon, and that's one of the endings in Sekiro, is like you become super strong and your arm catches on fire and you become a fucking crazy demon, is like one of the ways of the sword. So that was interesting, seeing all these like kind of Japanese kind of like Shinto Buddhism sort of ideas and things emerging in these manga is always fun. Yes,
Michi, everything that last thought you expressed, my brain was just like firing off Muramasa.
Yeah, I know.
But the moment never came, so it was very disorienting.
Sorry.
It's fine. You didn't do anything.
Yeah, the first guy, the teacher in Muramasa is an evil centipede man.
Yeah. Well, his Tsurugi.
Well, it's Tsurugi anyway.
Yeah.
Well, the Tsurugi fits the person usually.
Yeah. The early section of this one is just basically True Detective, where you just see everyone.
Like, I enjoyed. We're seeing what all the factions are. I like, you mentioned on one of the earlier podcasts that Tsukuya is his name or something?
Tsukiyama?
That Tsukiyama is like a Hisoka-ish figure, and he totally feels like that, where he's like hanging around Kaneki waiting for him to ripen, and he's like, he doesn't really give a shit about the rest of the people in the group at all.
Yeah, there's like this nice little detail that Kaneki does not allow him to stay in the same place as all the others.
In the same place, and then like near the end, he just like turns and is like about to murder Banjo's buddies. Yeah, because he's like, fuck off, I don't care.
Luckily, that doesn't happen.
He's up there. I like him a lot as a character, and I love his dynamic with that new guy. What is he called? Naki.
Naki.
Yeah, Naki and him is so funny. Where at least in my translation, Naki just thinks he's American, because
because he just doesn't know shit.
Yeah, he's just like an idiot who is like a because a lot of ghouls are like illiterate because it makes sense. Like
and like very poorly educated.
We had him teaching Banjo how to read, and he taught the little girl earlier too. Yeah, and it's so funny that this guy just misunderstands everything. And then my favorite was the two thought bubbles where he's like, "Let's team up," and then Tsukiyama is like, "I'll fucking cut this guy loose the first chance I get, and I'll murder him." And the guy's like, "This guy ain't so bad, even though he's an American. He's a pretty good guy." Like, you're such a moron.
What did you think about that whole scene where they go in the Ghoul restaurant? And yell,
murder.
"On dinner tonight is everyone."
Everyone. Yeah, I like that. I enjoyed everything. Like, it was very fun situations. I like seeing like just like Kaneki be like unscrupulous. He's been eating ghouls. He's been they're just like ready to kill that madam lady at a moment's notice. It's like, whatever, we just gotta get info on the doctor.
Banjo right in the chest.
He does.
Yeah,
that's like he did with Yoko.
Yeah, with Yomo. Like this is like a very like Ishida like uses this sort of thing repeatedly.
He does this. Yeah, he needs to stop doing this. Yeah. What do you guys think about this? Yeah, the Shachi. This guy was like one of the highlights for me.
That's like we see in the previous arc, we see Kaneki like beat two really powerful ghouls, and then Chachi comes in and he just smacks Kaneki around.
How did Ishida get so good at drawing like fight scenes? Like those were like some of the like most impactful looking like martial arts in manga I've seen. Like, his moves looked so fucking awesome. And like effortless, and it was just so cool. Like, he does like a jumping jack over Kaneki's attack, and then he just like fucking curb stomps him. It's so funny. And then he copies his move in the next fight. It's so cool. But they cut to him training, and there's like 50 books on the floor. That was so good.
That's just what Kaneki
I'm glad they're
like,
keeping that up with like the idea of him just being like, he's the best reader because he was a literature student.
Yeah,
Green, what did you think about this?
Definitely. Yeah, all the directing and composition just increasing by leaps and bounds. I mean, the difference between this and the first good chapters a few sessions ago is not as big as the difference between that and the very beginning, but you can still tell he's getting better.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of early chapters and things that were annoying, after continually complaining, they keep holding up Rize as being so important when she was just some random nobody.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine my shock when they go into the secret underground lab, open it up, and who is there in the central evil machine?
Yeah,
God,
with her booba
Rize.
I mean, I think it's funny that they've managed to. I think he managed to pull it off, like making Kano the doctor like a character who's kind of interesting. Because like early on, it seemed like a very kind of almost like a retcon that this doctor suddenly was like important. Because like there was like no mention or even like look at him in the first few chapters where it's just like, whatever. It's like it was not an important aspect of the story who the doctor who performed this stupid ghoul surgery was, but now he's become like this fucking fucking Machiavellian guy behind the scenes.
Well, this has now become like a very different type of manga from what it started as. Normally I hate it when they go back and they're like, oh no, everything was secretly planned the whole time.
Yeah, that bugs me too.
And there's a secret organization.
They do that in Bleach, and it's so stupid in Bleach, where it turns out that everything to do with Ichigo's childhood and whatever happened to his parents was actually like all planned by the big bad from the start. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that the doctor seems to be somewhat operating alone, kind of. Or at least
seems to just be a maverick kind of guy. Yeah.
You know, on one hand, I usually hate this, but on the other hand, I'm like, thank fucking God, because he obviously just didn't have enough ideas for like the initial conceit of like, oh, how sad is it to be crawling on the margins of society as a freaky ghoul, and he just didn't have enough ideas to keep that going for very long. It's like, yes, go into something that gives you an excuse to have like 20 really interesting characters who are interacting all the time. Have a bunch of funny quirks, It's not about being a ghoul 24/7. You know, people are just having fun with each other sometimes. Just keep doing this.
24/7 ghoul grind set. Yeah.
Michi, what did you think about Kuro and Shiro?
I thought they were pretty cool. But they, I don't know. They kept like kind of more hinting at them being more interesting than they were in practice, where they were like giving them like this backstory and kind of having like scenes with them, but then they kind of now it looks like one of them might be dead, and they had like the weird like scene with the teleporting girl in the bandages. And I was like, I get that they're like doing something here, but compared to the other stuff happening, it's not as good.
Yeah, no, I just like more thinking like design wise. Like
I like their look. I kind of wish that they would have more. I would like to see them. He's done this a lot of having like a few characters in like hoods jumping around with like their like kind of amorphous cloak look. Like they had the Bin brothers, was it last arc?
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And he's had like the followers of the
like all of the Aragiri.
Yeah, Aragiri are like that kind of. I wish I could. I would find their designs a bit more. They're a bit too simplistic for me, kind of, because they're essentially just like a cloth triangle with like a face with different colored hair. I would like to see them more distinctive, have more distinctive look. Maybe they will later. Maybe they'll have different clothes and have a cool power, and they'll be awesome. Yeah.
Right. Like speaking of
yes.
Edo, like who you call this teleporting around.
Oh,
it's like a nice
thing, yeah.
A nice way to like show how fucking fast she is, that it just appears as if she is teleporting.
Yeah.
Oh, remember when she was like, I have your bones?
This is like one of my favorite scenes probably in the manga. It's just, I just find it so
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
Like lost property.
Yeah, I found these, yeah. Also, that was a good when Chachi broke Kaneki's fingers with his forehead. That was funny.
That's such a cool thing. Where nope.
Yeah, nope.
You could do that in real life. Go ahead and try it. If someone tries to poke you, just hit your. I promise your forehead will win.
They had that in Soul Eater 2. Mifune broke Black Star's fingers when they were close. Yeah, both the same fingers.
That's also like a real sword fighting technique.
I mean, it makes sense, really, that you would get rid of. I mean, it's very hard to grip a sword with your three bottom, like the two fingers and a thumb. Yeah, not a good leverage.
Still Black Star won.
Oh yeah, he didn't need that. Yeah, and then of course the main highlight of this whole thing was Kaneki going fucking beast mode. Looked awesome, was awesome.
Going Tokyo Ghoul.
I really thought the guy was dead, like the armor.
Shinohara.
Yeah, like I mean, obviously they did it on purpose to make you think that, but it wouldn't have been bad if they had killed him either. Really, like it would be kind of weird for power levels, just because this guy like fought Owl and now he was dying to Kaneki, but then again he was with a teammate against Owl, and we don't know how fully strong Kaneki is. I mean, he's been raised to SS, so
very high power level, even if Chachi can like kick him around.
With Owl, I keep feeling like it's supposed to be really obviously telegraphed who Owl is, but then it keeps not happening and I feel crazy.
we will see. I don't know what exactly you mean.
I don't know exactly what you mean either, so I'm not sure.
Your prophecies.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, we know he's like the leader of Aogiri, right?
We'll get there, I guess. Also, Amon is the head investigator, right? That's his name.
Amon. Yeah, he had a lot of he had Amon. Yeah, he had a lot of guts pages again this time. He had like the glowing white eyes and his big fucking sweeping smashes.
When he thinks that Shinohara has died.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, one eye.
I like his desperate screaming at Kaneki, like, why are you like this?
Yeah.
Why aren't you?
And Kaneki's just like out of it. He's just like Kaneki's just like, I don't even know who you are or what is a thing.
Yeah, he doesn't remember him.
I don't know anything. Crazy. Shut up. I just want to jump around and be a centipede.
I love like all the crazy moments where Ishida's like using the speech bubbles and warps the letters and stuff like that.
I always like when he does like walls of text. Like here he had him being like, I'm sorry like 30 billion times after he stabbed Baja. Oh, how cute was Suzuya with all their knives and things.
He just dismantled them.
Yeah.
That was like the.
They're just like, I'm gonna murder everyone. Yeah.
It's funny that a lot of
censored in the anime because of the weird situation with the Japanese journalist that got captured by ISIS. And
please.
Oh god.
Could people could countries stop being stupid? Oh, that was a good drawing when Naki jumped in front of the guys. It was like, God.
No, I attacked the wrong person.
You guys are twins. Yeah. That guy also reminds me a lot of like of a Chainsaw Man-ish character, just like having this dumb, like kind of illiterate idiot who has kind of like a heart of gold, and he's like looks up to the torturing, murderous psychopath from the last arc.
Naki is like a weird person.
Yeah, he is very weird. And he was like surprisingly strong too. Like he just seemed like there would be like a meme joke character, but then actually they're fighting. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We saw a little bit of Suzuya's backstory.
Hey, real quick, that bottom right, that hair looks kind of like Boichi hair a little bit.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, there are some similarities.
Like from the. Actually, no, I shouldn't say stuff, so not to spoil stuff.
Okay, that's fine.
He does the shaft head tilt a lot, Kaneki.
Yeah, it's crazy though. Suzuya, a lot of the characters knew and/or grew up with him and just think he's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's a school tutor that they harness for good.
Yeah, they mentioned earlier how a lot of orphaned by ghouls get taken in by the agency and then become hunters, and it's like, oh, that makes sense, and then it's like, oh yeah,
like lots of like people in the CCG like got drawn into it because of that, and for like the special people, they have like a special school, which is the one.
That's actually a very good explanation for like why there would be people who would be in such a dangerous line of work. It's like, well, a lot of them are basically like groomed from childhood. Not that it's not a true feeling of wanting revenge, but
and
like
then some of them were raised by ghouls somehow.
Well, that was an accident.
You feel like that would be something that happened like once, but it's like no. Two of the biggest badasses were raised by ghouls and then raised.
I don't know what
two. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're mistaken.
Suzuya was apparently like captured as a child and raised by ghouls.
Wait, isn't that the whole thing with Amin?
Yeah.
Amin was with.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize. I didn't remember the Suzuya one, so I thought I only remembered the Amin one.
No, it's a rumor. Like they haven't shown it, but the white and black sisters like hinted at it. Like he's rumored to have.
We haven't seen full Suzuya backstory yet. What we will get.
That was a really good. That was a really good drawing with Kaneki hiding his face at the end, at the very end. I like Banjo much more. Like he's gone from like annoying, annoying macho dude.
Yeah, Banjo is a good dude. It's just really cool.
I like how I like how he doesn't know how to fight, even though he's this big hulking guy.
I like how Kaneki just murders his friend Banjo for no reason, and then Banjo's reaction is like, "That's why I'm here, dog."
Yeah. He's been lucky twice now. Both people that he fucking ran through with his fist were cool with it.
And he needs to stop doing that.
And then Yomo fucking saved Rize, and she was like, "I'm hungry." At the end.
That's how it ends.
This is I still don't know what the fuck is up with Rize, and then being like, "Oh, there is no Rize, but there is, but also she's like the only ghoul that matters." But the solid set of chapters. I enjoy this manga.
Yeah, this is like the third best of the arcs in the.
Do you like this more or less than the last one?
I like it a little bit less than.
Yeah, I also liked it slightly less, but it was still like
but it's still like one of the best in this section. Like the final arc that we are getting to now is the best in my opinion.
Also, like what Green said, part of the enjoyment of the last one was the ramp up, which wasn't as dire with this because he's already good. So
like
going from good to even better is better than going from like mid to good.
The highlights in this arc are Kaneki crazy stuff and Suzuya like butchering people.
Which is cool because they're like two of my favorite guys. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy Tokyo Ghoul is a manga.
And depending on if we do the next two thingies together, which would be like 33, 34 chapters or something. Then
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That wouldn't be out of the question. Do you think we should talk Punpun now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, our boy is a teenager.
Is a man.
He will become a man.
But fucking bitches, that's what makes you a man. His dad and uncle said so.
Yeah.
And his co-worker at the supermarket, who apparently is a pedophile.
Just says that out loud.
Yeah, I meant to bring this up. It's funny to me how constantly like people bring up to Punpun that like they assume he's a virgin, and he can't really say no because technically he's not, but he also like has never had normal sex either. So they're kind of right. He is like emotionally a virgin, but physically not. Yeah. So it's funny. The coworker guy's like, "You're a virgin, right, man? Sex is great. You should have sex with underage girls."
Which is weird because if he told the truth, if he told the truth, the coworker would probably be like, "That's the most epic thing I've ever heard of," and like do a high five.
Yeah, he would say that.
Probably.
Yeah. The coworker's pedophile moment is so weird with how like subtle it is, because he's doing a pretty normal thing, which is like, ha ha ha, high school girls are so cool, and then he's like, yeah, elementary's fine too, moving on. And it's like, wait, what? Go back to what you said.
Yeah, okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves though, because first Punpun has to go on a date.
Oh god,
the best date. Yeah.
Do we do the date first or the mother stuff first?
I guess
it doesn't matter.
It's all
the date's fine.
We could do the date. So the date is really like a gut punch because maybe it's just me because I only care about myself too. But the like you feel like Punpun, like you think he's doing really well. He's got a shot in. Oh man, he's being such a gentleman. Look how smooth he's being. And then she's like, oh, I'm sure you thought you were being real smooth all night by being nice, but obviously you were just doing that because you wanted to get into my pants. And you just care about yourself. And he's like,
the interesting stuff is like before he goes in for that, she's actually like saying that she was really happy, like that she had fun, and then he fucks it up basically.
Yeah, I mean, she liked him. Like they even confirmed that a bit more later. Like she did like him, and she was sad about it. It's not. She wouldn't be. She's not directly opposed to really doing anything with him. It's just the way in which he's doing it and being pushy and leaving his mom in the hospital is that he's being a piece of shit, and that turns her off. Obviously,
that's weird.
Exactly. Like, he's being it's so funny. Like him, like getting his hair ready, he packs like a bunch of condoms. He's like, well, we may want to do it 5 times in a row. Who knows?
This hurts. This hurts because this is the transition to where Punpun starts like actually making real mistakes. Like we're now hitting the point where
it's inexcusable.
It's obviously partially a product of his shitty life, but it's no longer excusable by his shitty life at this point.
He has agency, and those are the decisions.
And at this point, like the veneer has lifted, and it's become apparent that God is just like his libido essentially, and like with darker thoughts. Like earlier on, there was still the tinkle tinkle hoy stuff. Now God only shows up when he's jerking off, essentially. And it's like, you should jerk off, you sad piece of shit.
Or maybe God is like his. I mean, it's partially ego. Yeah. But maybe like, God is like, it's his need for like a narrative sense to life. Like he needs to like link things together into a story. Maybe that's why Punpun is a good storyteller. Potentially, like he compulsively tells stories about himself to try to dull the pain. But we all do that, don't we?
Isn't a story with that kind of main character not going to be successful with the reader?
Yeah.
This was funny because while I was reading this, like up until recently, it's been like like the whole month has been like very strong rains and floods in Portugal, and this is like the rainy arc where it's just raining all the fucking time and his mom's dying. Yeah, it's like the rainy season arc, so that was interesting.
And also, Mitch, I'm going to suggest not scrolling after you click on something because you're probably going to get a spoiler.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Well,
I don't think he is.
I cannot spoil myself that much, but okay.
Okay, cool.
You know how far I've read. Okay.
Well, yeah, but I thought you haven't literally read everything.
I have not finished the very end, but I've made it far enough. But okay.
Okay, whatever.
Fine. I just like moving my hand. Yeah, man. Punpun sure is sad. Look at him on the floor.
Don't jerk off while you're talking.
No, I won't. Remember, if I'm gonna do it on top of like a wooden thing in the middle of the rain. Into the air.
Oh yeah, his dick's
He's
a little
pissing?
fun.
I thought he was jizzing.
Look
no,
at that.
he's totally coming.
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, he didn't say he had to piss. He's like jerking it. He had pent up. He had a pent up hard on. Yeah.
Are you ever so dejected by a girl that you have to just piss everywhere?
You know. Well, that was nice. At least him getting to see the painting and it reminding him of stuff. That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny to me that was funny to me that Green earlier you said like that the last bit we cut off was like the end of like classic Punpun, and the highlight of classic Punpun is like that 2-page spread. And then here he like harkens back and is like, yeah, remember that? That was pretty cool. Anyway, too bad we're in this Punpun now. Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously like the whole. This is like the core of Punpun. Is like he latches on to like. He sees other people and moments as almost life rafts, like carrying him out of his shitty life, and then he just holds on to them for way too long, he just can't move on. Like the idea of things being better makes him miss opportunities for things to actually be better. Yes. He said the no one in particular.
Well, I will say it's controversial because I know your opinion, but I like this part of the story even more than I did Punpun up until now. Like I like adults, I like 18-year-old apartment Punpun like even more than the stuff so far. Like this is
okay.
I think for me the parts are equal. Like I don't think I have like
I like this more because it's like I find it even more relatable, like him being an adult and having to, you know, like live on his own and have all these things to do with jobs and having a loss of purpose. And like, it's so funny that the characters he like studies a lot and they all get into like this hard prestigious school and they all end up doing like clicker jobs where they're like counting stuff and working like the convenience store. That was like yeah, that's basically it. Like doesn't really matter how good your grades are in school, you're gonna end up working at the convenience store probably, so none of that mattered.
Yeah, you have a point.
We do see Punpun's grades and they actually suck.
That's true, but they could have been. That's because he gave up on the whole
because he
mad scientist thing. How good was the conversation? That's like the highlight probably of that at least that section is like his talk with the uncle on the roof is so good. I love. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say if you remember. A long time ago, I told you this amazing scene was going to come up.
Yes.
And I told you to remember the words like "I love you as much as ever."
Yeah.
And we finally got here. I think this is my favorite. This might be my favorite part of like the entire story.
This is pretty up there. Like I don't know if this is like a hard and fast rule, but I feel like stories that have a scene where like the older male character gives the younger one their first cigarette are always cool. Like that's always like a rite of passage moment. It's funny seeing Punpun's like first time getting into things, like how he first started getting into caffeine when he was like sad in high school, and then he's like addicted to coffee drinks, and then his first time having sex was bad, but then we get to see him his first cigarette and his first drink. And he just immediately is like legless. Yeah, and has the funny face. Yeah,
his first time coming, he thinks his brains shot out
of his dick. Yeah. But yeah, the uncle. It was nice seeing him finally like
that they
come
talk
back.
again.
Yeah, we saw him like behind the curtain before, and obviously he was pissed off that he got cucked. But now it turns out he doesn't even mind about the cucking, and he is just like, just be yourself, and the world is yours. Kiddo.
Yeah, but he still has like this, like he sounds more or less fine when he's talking, but he also has like this the line of dialogue where he's just waiting for Midori to just kill him at
well,
some
yeah,
point.
he's still. Oh yeah, like the uncle stuff from now on, he's like a different character, where he's like a more like jaded thing, but he's still. I still think this is probably a better.
Yeah, it's
life for him than what the fuck he was before. Yeah, he is kind of crazy though. He's like smoking all the time, and he's like says he's #1 in the U.S. for some reason.
Yeah, he's like someone with he's like someone with like mild bipolar or someone
he's like keeping his depression
in
check, but he obviously has it like underneath, and he's just not trying to tempt himself.
Yeah, he can have like he's probably going to have another episode someday. Like he's someone who can hold together for a long time, but every now and again, like when he just I don't know, when his timer runs out, he becomes really fucked up for a while.
Yeah, kudos to Asano for having the most awkward scene in existence when the dad shows up. And the uncle is like sitting on the couch, and the dad keeps like ordering like it's a cafe, and he doesn't remember anyone's name, and he forgets they're like married, and he doesn't even know what the fuck day it is. That's immediately after we find out that his dad didn't send him one letter for the last 8 years.
Damn.
Awesome.
That fucking hurt. Like that's like that's the mother's big redeeming moment. Is you're like, oh, she was the one sending the letters,
and it doesn't make Punpun like his mother anymore. It just makes him hate his dad also.
Probably makes
it just makes him. It just gives him less. It just hurts his mom in trying to be like nice and like. But like her revealing this just hurts Punpun more and makes him also dislike his dad. Who it turns out even his dad is a piece of shit, and it explains that makes so much sense too. Why his dad's letters were always about sports and space, because the mom has no idea what else to write about. Because she doesn't know what the fuck the dad is up to. So it's just like a snapshot of what the dad was when he left. It was just the mom repeating the same thing over and over again in these silly letters.
Yeah.
And then he bangs on the door, and the dad is crying as he leaves. Oh, it's like everything about that scene is bad. Like it's the worst scene of all time.
Yeah. Like, and the dad. It's a big turning point for Punpun, where the dad asks, "Do you want to live with me?"
Yeah.
And Punpun. He doesn't just say no. He says, "I want to live alone. Like I'm so done with people that I don't even want. Even the people that I care about, I don't want them entangled in me."
Because like it's so great that the uncle takes him out. Because prior to that, like the only person who used to give Punpun solace and coddle him was the aunt. But because of the horrible thing she did, it's like she's like staring at him. He's like on his knees punching the floor, and she kind of looks like she wants to reach out to him, but obviously if she touched him, Punpun would probably be like, "Don't you fucking touch me." Yeah,
we even see like later, like he's still avoiding her like every time.
Well, he would do like
stuff like that.
Like it's messed up. Like that's why his uncle has to break his fucking vow of silence and be like, okay, this kid obviously is about to fucking kill himself immediately. If I don't do something, I'm gonna take him out and give him a cigarette because fuck it.
But if you ever blame your misfortune on other people, I will come after you with a katana.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, it's cool that after everything, the uncle is still like kind of the good guy a little bit.
Yeah, he's been through a lot of hard. Like I have a hard time giving the uncle shit. I guess we've been skirting around everything to do with the mom because we don't like her. But no one does.
Like her. That's the fucked up thing. Punpun's dad is still more likable than the mom because the mom is just so aggressively unlikable.
And they kind of revealed that the microwave thing was not as cut and dry.
Totally bullshit.
Yeah, not totally bullshit because she might.
And she's trying to kill Punpun.
She keeps trying to kill people. She's gonna drown him in the sea. She almost kills her lover with a fucking sashimi knife. and then she's about to go upstairs and kill Punpun herself. Like, yeah, okay, he probably could have handled that better than throwing a microwave at her head, but yeah, he was kind of in the moment. We don't know if she really would have gone through with it, but I mean, he kind of did take the fall there, where everyone thinks, like, he still was kind of violent, like he was like slapping her around when he wanted the beer earlier, but still. I mean, like with everything in Punpun, everyone is to blame, but no one completely. Yeah.
You see all the different sides and what happened.
Yeah, it's just because people are bullshit.
The sad thing about the dad is, like, when the dad is by himself, he's probably fine. Like, if he was your neighbor, you would just be like, "Oh, hey, it's Mr. Onodira. How's it going?" He'd just ramble about the game and give you a beer.
His name is Punya.
Right.
Punyama,
obviously,
he's
that was
the
a test,
only one who isn't named Onodira.
Yeah. But he's probably an okay guy. He's just a shitty husband and dad, which there are lots of guys like that. Arguably,
I should go back to find images of the mom. Everything with the mom in the hospital is like chaka chaka. It is cool. It's nice that she has like this kind of mildly redeeming thing where she helps out this kid and his girlfriend, even though ultimately she's like doing it for selfish reasons and she's like jealous. But that's because, she can't help being. I mean, she herself knows she's like a bad person, and she kind of has to work around that. One of the
reasons why she acts the way she does, because she knows.
It's nice that she does ultimately still settle on saying that she loves Punpun, despite being an asshole to him even to the end.
Punpun still says he cannot.
Yeah, Punpun just stares at her with that like. I mean, that would be so messed up too, though. Like, I know,
he does try it.
I know, but it's her fault. Like that Punpun is like he is. Like a lot of that is her fault. But it also is like, can you imagine how hard it is for her living as a single mom, have this son who just never says anything to her? Like, he just stares blankly at her, and when he does have a reaction, it's like utter hate and scorn towards her. Like, she's like desperate for any sort of affection, and she's just like, it's
the
just,
reality
like,
is people just get tired. Like, people don't have infinite energy to try. Like, Punpun's probably tried to have a good moment with his mom 5,000 times and eventually just gave up. And now she's ready to try, and he's like, bye, bitch, and goes upstairs.
Yeah, she's not like the worst mom, but it's like, it's way past. It's way past.
We see her try again, like when she comes out of the hospital. But when Punpun doesn't.
Yeah, immediately she's like, "How about a welcome home?" And then she's like, "God damn it! Why is it? Why does it have to be like this?"
Like, the mother has moments of kindness. She just doesn't have the self-discipline or self-control to not fucking ruin them later.
Yeah, because she has that awful thing, which is so real, of like a parent. She still has like maternal love for Punpun, but also she totally blames him for like ruining her life. Like, so it's like terrible. Yeah. That's like a terrible circumstance.
Didn't she want? Oh wait, fuck. Was it? It's not she wanted an abortion, but didn't Daddy Punpun say you didn't even want a kid in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like,
oh god.
She might just be one of those people where an abortion was never like an option that didn't even cross her mind. Like, she would never think to have an abortion.
She told Punpun to her face.
Yeah. Oh wait, what?
Like, she told Punpun to her face that he ruined her life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well,
it's funny though. She blames thinks of abortion.
She blames Punpun as much as she does like meeting the father, where she's just like, you people. I could have been so much better, but she probably wouldn't have. She probably would have done the exact same thing, just with another man. Just met some guy, married him, and had a kid she hates with him. Because like the brother says, like she's like ultimately like kind of an irresponsible person who doesn't really know what she should do with her life.
Yeah. I mean, she is just kind of selfish, and it's interesting that she actually did travel the world for a while. Like, she made good on. She wasn't one of these people that just talked about doing stuff and never did. Like, she actually did get out there and went around for a bit. It just didn't stick.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't do anything for her.
Well, she doesn't really have anything she is or wants to do as a person herself. She is more like a person in relation to other people, but she just finds other people infuriating, and is constantly jealous and needy and lonely.
It's also a little interesting that the cancer is like sort of foreshadowed when she says that like her mother died of breast cancer when
That's
she was
right.
traveling the world.
Oh, I forgot
Now
about
she
that.
dies of
Yeah.
cancer.
Yeah. The
That's
that thing,
messed up.
it sucks that the mother, like she actually cares. Like the dad just doesn't care that much about anyone but himself in
But
like
it's
a
weird
pretty
then,
obvious way.
but then
Like the mother actually like is emotionally involved with other people. She just fucks it up and sucks.
the dad, it feels weird because like he doesn't care enough to send a letter or contact his son because he's like very like he feels like very airheaded. But then when Punpun says he doesn't want to live with him, he's like crying in the hallway, like he has a tear in his eye. So it's like he probably does care, but that was still also for like selfish reasons, where he was like, oh, it would be so much fun to live with my son, and I wouldn't feel like a piece of shit dad.
Like start over. He just wanted to like redo.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted like a redo, and it was way too late, obviously. So he's like, oh, shucks.
That sure happens, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. It's not. I mean, both his parents like it. It was just too late to patch things up.
Yep.
And then he got to see Akko on the train. It's
Yeah.
Akko! Runs after her.
God damn it.
He falls down the stairs.
That hurts. That page, I don't know what chapter it's in, when he rents the apartment and he like hallucinates like her being like, welcome home, Punpun, it's an empty thing. And then he gets to hear his neighbors bang instead. It's like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Could Asano stop hurting me for like 2 pages? Yeah.
The 2 pages where Aiko is reintroduced in the story also are amazingly drawn.
How sad! I love that Punpun face when he's like being serious. She's like, "Are you sure?" Yeah, it's like Fist of the North Star. It's fine.
Yeah.
Wave hand.
He doesn't want any of the money from like his mother that she left behind. He just wants to be independent completely.
But then he does use the money when he's just like hanging out.
Yeah, you want to cut ties with other people. You want them to believe you did.
I called that she was the same girl from earlier. I noticed because when Punpun and the other kids see what's her face as kids, she has a drawing pad, and I was like, oh, she's the artist girl. Yeah. And she's like, oh, my dad hit me. My dad got a bit carried away, but then she says it was because of her surgery scars. So, which, it's just a coincidence that they bled from the head on both occasions.
Yeah. I never caught that the first time.
Oh, I also didn't.
This second time, when we were reading the early chapters, I saw that panel and I was squinting, going like, is that fucking her? But I didn't say anything because I didn't want to risk spoiling later stuff. In my innocence.
Well, we could talk about. I mean, we still have like a whole volume to cover. I don't know where to start. There's the stuff with the cult guy. There's Punpun turning into a triangle.
Are we done with the mom? Is there anything else?
Done. I think I'm done with volume 6. Now it's volume 7.
Okay. I will say about the mom. I don't know. I did enjoy her redeeming little relationship with the hospital kids. Like, not much to say, but it was nice.
It was
like
nice.
she can be a nice person, kind of, when there are no responsibilities attached and people can just ignore her when they want to.
It
like,
was
that's
funny
the
though
way
that
to deal with her.
Part of her, she's not so delusional as to think there was any chance of anything, but part of her goodwill was like based on like romantic feelings, and it reminded me of the old ladies being nice to the uncle when he worked at the pottery place. Like it was kind of like having this old lady be like, wanting to hang around and be helpful to this younger guy because they have like a mini crush on them. Like that's how they treated her brother, kind of, and that didn't go so well, did it? Yeah.
It's flattering, if nothing else.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Punpun moves into the same room where an old man died and rotted. Yeah.
This is like it's like a little confusing. Before that, he has a different room, which apparently costs like more rent than like he later, while he's like looking for Aiko, he sees like the advertisement for the other room, and then he moves there.
Yes, but Punpun living on his own.
Doing nothing, lying around,
lying on the floor, listening to his neighbors bang.
He's just trying to figure out how many times can he jerk off in one day.
Well, he's trying to find Aiko, maybe.
Is he?
I mean, in a general, if I might see her, kind of way.
Because that's how you find people. If you know someone lives in a city, you run around the street
Tokyo
with your hand over your eyes.
How many people can there be in Tokyo? Yeah, and then you.
Yeah, that's how I found Michi. Actually, I went to Lisbon, and I just walked the streets yelling, "Marco!"
Polo.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I guess we should just get into him turning into a triangle.
Yeah.
He gets naked and he turns into a creature and he runs around in the rain. And then next day, he's a tetrahedron.
That's actually explained in the interview I was.
I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna say, but did it have anything to do with? Because I remember something about tetrahedrons are like kind of a holy shape, like they're used to represent God sometimes. I was wondering if that was.
My opinion, I don't.
Shape.
Oh. Okay.
I took it. What did you say? Sorry.
The simplest shape.
Oh, the simplest. What about a circle?
Yeah, like we see, like Punpun is trying to be. Yeah,
I took that as being like losing his humanity, becoming like just a facetless, emotionless guy, kind of.
Yeah, and you see, he fully pops out of it when Sachi. What does she say? I think she wants to buy his talent for like her children's book. That's when he switches back into his normal form.
He falls out of the triangle. I mean, when he's in triangle mode, all his faces he makes are like the fake smile, like the funny little looking over. Like he just plastered a look on his face, and he's just not there.
Yeah,
there he is.
I mean, I was gonna.
What a piece of shit.
I've never had a strong opinion on the triangle. This time I kind of thought it was just trying to be normal, like trying to blend in and be like, I'm a normal guy.
That's also part of it.
I guess
sure.
that's kind of part of it.
Yeah, that's part of it. He gets such mileage out of that, like so many good panels and layouts that work. I like when it like cuts to it and the triangle is just there and then two legs pop out and he starts walking. Triangle's like holding an umbrella.
Speaking of Sachi,
thinking of all the women in his life, and he's making that face where he's like, her face, Midori's fucking face there is so bad. Yes. Fucking drooling. Yeah.
I'm very glad we got to Sachi. Sachi is the owner's daughter, right?
No.
No.
Wait, damn it. Who's the art girl?
Her name.
Sachi.
But she's not the owner's. She's not the owner's daughter. The owner's daughter is the woman who comes out and screams at him about how he's always trying to give people part-time jobs. They're not the same person. She's not related to the owner.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, I got mixed up for a second, but I'm glad Sachi is here because after the uncle, Sachi's probably my favorite character.
Yeah, she's like one of the best characters.
Yeah, she's good.
She's extremly good. Yeah.
Punpun is feeling just fine today. She's it's interesting. It's interesting how they throw in like I like how realistic it is, where she's like a girl who is not like Punpun's dream girl at all, but she would be like a good match for him. She's like a bit older than him.
She like gets along like really well.
Yeah, she's kind of like weird in her personality.
She can put up with his bullshit.
Yeah, but she can put up with his bullshit. Like that scene where he's like, "After I met you, I went home and jerked off for the first time in 3. The uncle was 5. He was 3. He didn't hold out as long."
In a weird way, she's actually kind of similar to Midori in ways, where she's just like very. Well, she's not. Midori's not as secure, but she naturally like kind of jives with the fucking weirdness of the other person.
They both know the best way to handle these like neurotic, depressive types is to just like call them on their bullshit and be like, I'll I'll kick the shit out of you if you pull that again. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And they're like, fine.
And of course she's the polar opposite of Aiko, because Aiko is extremely vulnerable and needy and paranoid and like eternally childlike.
She's independent. Yeah, whereas Aiko is completely
she's also like sexually confident. Like imagine, well, okay, don't imagine, but imagine you imagined Aiko laying there flashing her crotch to Punpun and then realizing he gawked at it. Like the reaction of that would probably be pretty fucking weird and like emotionally charged. Where Sashi's just like, yeah, oh, it happens. You know, you looked at my crotch. I'll look at yours later. Whatever.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable. The panty shot with the hair. Yeah, but you know.
Yeah.
That's like a callback to the uncle.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, very silly. I mean, this is exactly what Punpun needs, though, is like a catalyst for change in his life, because he was just going to spend the rest of his days being a stupid triangle.
I mean, this is just like a tale as old as time. Yeah. Like a guy gets hung up on like this like idealized vision of like a girl who really it was never going to work out. Then he finds someone who's like clearly right for him that can help him move on from that, but then he's like hung up on the old thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's also funny. It's good. It's fitting that it's this girl that he met without even realizing it as a child, and then he met again at the art thing, and she did the painting, because it's like Punpun. That's what it's
running into each other.
Punpun. That's what it's all about. It's like people whose lives separate for so long, but then they touch each other at certain intersections constantly. Like people, it's like every one of them. It's like planets, and all of them are like on different orbits, but they line up like ever so occasionally, and then it's always like a life-changing event.
I think even with like the next chapter, I mean, you have read it, so I can say it. Like, I mean, he leaves. Yeah, I can. He leaves her apartment, like gives her like the excuse or leaves the excuse message and leaves her apartment, and then in the next chapter it seems like they run into each other again. Like there's no. Yeah. We don't see why. Like it just seems to happen that they just randomly meet again.
Yes.
It does not seem like they set it up or somewhere. So yeah, it just keeps happening.
Yeah, but I really like the stretch of like, I really like Punpun being independent, quote unquote, because now it really is all about him like wrangling with his purpose, rather than when he was in school. He still had all these problems, but there was still like hope, and he was still, a lot of the stuff in his life was out of his control, and it was like stuff that was going to happen regardless. But now he's like, the world is his oyster, but he has no idea what to do aside from looking for Aiko, is like the one thing keeping him like anchored to reality, basically. We forgot about his little oath that he swore. That if he does not... that's right. In the next...
These people just say shit like that. I think I've literally said that exact thing.
I mean, isn't that literally what happens? Like, he realizes that when the day comes, and he's like, oh, I'm exactly in the same place.
Yeah. Maybe next year.
I wonder how his schoolmates found out that he wasn't jerking off. Like, that was like a rumor that started. Why would he tell them? Because they ask him. This friend's like, hey, is it true? Like, there's a rumor saying you don't jerk off. And he's like, doesn't respond.
I mean, my translation was like a little different. Like, in my mind, he said like something like, I'm serious about that.
People say you're... Yeah, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Kind of a weird thing to brag about.
In the communal sessions as a youngster.
I never did the NoFap, so yeah.
And Punpun just being weird and turning into a little bit of an exhibitionist and running out in the rain.
Yeah, he has a record of like jerking off or just getting his cock out in public. Not technically in public, but outside, and just running around naked and doing stuff like that. Like he is really unhinged. Yeah.
Yeah, like when he's drunk in the Sachi thing and he's just mumbling shit, he says something like something about pretending to be a crazy person is like liberating or something like that. I forgot what the
That's the one. That's what I want. Yeah, this funny nose.
Yeah. By the way, the superintendent guy, pretty damn good character. Like
You mean
the landlord?
Yeah, landlord.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
he had cool lines already earlier before he had his stupid toupee when he was talking to the two other kids that sometimes the story focuses on, you know.
Yeah, those guys. I like him because he's just an example. He's just an adult who's over it. Like he's accepted. I'm too old. I'm not fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm not hip. I'm not with it. But I've learned how to just calmly enjoy my limited time on this earth, and I will share that with other young people, whether they want it or not.
He gets bullied by his daughter.
His life, but he gets
I think he does because he enjoys giving young people, like observing young people and giving them like chances and help where he can without his daughter catching
He knows how to make the. He's a wise person. He knows how to just make the best of what life gives.
I also like him singing karaoke. Is funny.
Yeah. Okay, I mean that's where he's enjoying himself. I would agree with that.
He gets drunk.
And
he's got like a pretty relaxed
that.
life. Yeah.
Like Punpun couldn't just have the simple joy of karaoke because he'd be like too self-conscious. It's like, oh no, I will look lame, and then Aiko will never suck my dick. Oh no. Whereas this old man, like he probably sucks, but he's just having fun with the other old people. He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's nice about getting older is like you get to just accept that you suck and then just appreciate things.
Yeah. I've also accepted that you suck, and it's been really helpful.
Yeah.
Everyone wins.
Yes.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I guess the only thing we didn't mention was this is like the introduction kind of. I know we've seen him before babbling on the street with a sign, but now we get the first. I guess we have the concert. Yeah, we're getting more of the society organized by the cult guy, whatever the fuck his name is. Pegasus. Well, yeah, you can call him Pegasus, I guess.
I have mixed feelings. Like every time the cult shows up, I'm like, yep, this is perfectly competent as a part of the story. I just can't be bothered to care that much. Whereas Punpun,
they had like the dream sequence. I agree. I always
takes me out like a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's like going to those other two dudes too. Like I always want to be on Punpun. I don't really enjoy when it cuts to things that Punpun wouldn't know are happening. Like I guess it's okay when it's with his family. It's different. Like stuff, his mom and his uncle doing stuff outside of Punpun's story is fine. But I want it to be like a story of his family because they're the bird people. The cult thing, like that whole scene where there's like a dream sequence and he comes in that guy's room, and, like all this weird stuff. That's like, I appreciate its like artistic value, but I also read through that and I'm just like, okay, that was a scene that was like interesting, but like, I want to get back to your boy Punpun jerking off on the floor, please. More of that.
Yeah. It's never painful. I'm never sad when it ends.
It's not one of my favorites.
It's not the best part. Although the scene where he shows up in the room of Punpun's friend and tells him to like join him, and the guy just mumbles, "No, I can't. I have my part-time job in the morning," and he just leaves.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how sometimes he asks people to join and he's like cool with it, and then other times he's like weirdly violent. Is strange. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we will see more.
He's just insane, I guess. But yeah. Punpun Triangle forever.
Not forever.
Not forever, literally, but I mean
what your profile picture is.
Well, yeah. It's not a good vibe. Before that, he becomes the eye version with all the vertical eyes when he's being Takashi, or whatever. Yeah, that's.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot that happens.
This is why I love adult Punpun. Okay.
Hot damn! Are we
We might be
Are
done.
we ready to I'm very excited for the next stretch of Punpuns, partially because it won't be 2 weeks and we'll remember it better. But partially because there's some everything with Sachi is great. It's like some real Kino stuff coming up.
Like
so.
one thing I still like wanted to like point out was like similar to the uncle situation where he like is forced to check in after years to see if people have moved on. Like we don't know how long it's been, but Kanye also like seems to be okay with Punpun again when they run into each other. Like who knows? Like
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
How
so it's
nice
like
is she
the same
for
lesson
not?
again.
Yeah, how nice is she for not like excoriating him and ruining his?
Yes, I was thinking about that too. I mean, that goes again with her. Like, she did genuinely like him, and she's just like,
yeah, like he did a shitty thing, but she just got over it.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to stuff that's been done to Punpun, him trying to steal a kiss isn't even. Yeah. I mean, him getting handsy is
trying to do
no,
more
I
than
know, but he was he was getting he was going for some gropes. I guess.
So fucked up. Like he remember him clutching her like her wrist.
The clutch is bad. Yeah.
That's Punpun as a person at this point. He's a grasping hand, just like trying to grab onto things better than him to make himself feel.
It is always sad because like he ends up like doing kind of worse and worse stuff, and he just lets you down.
Yeah.
And that's just what God knows he is. He's like, stop. Isn't it about time you stop pretending you're a good person, Punpun? Just give in to all of your impulses. Who cares?
Lot to think about. I feel like I wonder if I'm gonna have different opinions on like God at the end this time.
You're the one who calls me God after all. He says.
Yeah. Well,
she no longer does, I think.
No. Maybe we should end there.
Doesn't even acknowledge him, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes he says Tinkle Hoy and God doesn't show up.
He does. Yeah.
It really is the dark night.
That should be the signing off thing. Tinkle Tinkle Hoy.
Okay.
Okay. Stopping stream.